everyone. Welcome back. Today we are going to learn the concepts in the database, that is the keys. What are the different kinds of keys in the database management system, and what are the necessary of using keys in Dbms. Before discussing about the keys, so let us understand what is a key and why do we need these keys in the database management. So keys plays very important role. For example, I have one database, I want to check the records properly whether it is inserted or not, and which uniquely identifies the system or the data in the table. And it also prevents duplication while entering the data. The people or the person who is using the system, data entry operator, may do a lot of mistakes while entering the data. So in order to avoid all those things, we use the concept called as the key, which is very useful for efficiently retrieving the data, organizing the data in a better way, and preferably for uniquely identification of data and managing the data sets if the data is very huge and it is becomes very difficult to manage the data while inserting and all those things. So that is why we use the keys. Now let us see what are the different kinds of keys that are there so that you can use it efficiently in the database. So first one is the super key. So what is this key? Suppose I have a table here. First let us understand what is the table. So table contains like register number, name, phone number, class, percentage. Now register numbers, we have right now I have taken student register numbers, name, phone number, class and percentages. Now here if you analyze the data, see register number is there. We have some 4 student register number and no student will have the same register number. So if the key is not inactivated, or if you did not define the key in the database, then there could be mistakes, like while entering the register number, they may enter the duplicate register number. Like 101 is there. Once again, if I enter 101, it will accept because I have not defined any key in the database. Similarly, if you come for the name, so name, it should allow duplication, but here register number, it should be unique and duplication will not be allowed. So since I have taken 2 names, it is allowing, so this key will be different. And coming for the phone number, and take the register number and the name here. So phone number also will be unique, plus it can have null values. That means some people may not have the phone number, so that we keep it as a null. But here there is no person or a student without name, so it should be not null. So here also register number should be not null, because when you want to write the examination, you should have the register number. Plus these values here, the difference is it should be unique, it should be not null, that means empty, plus it should not get repeated. Duplication is not allowed. Here duplication is allowed, but it is not null. That means no person is there in this without the name. So here phone number can each and every person can have the different phone numbers, but some person cannot, does not have the phone number. We cannot compulsorily tell that everybody should have the phone number, so that we make it as a null. So this key definition or defining will be different. Next, class. So class can also be repeated, but there is no null, right? Percentages, when you write the exam, you will get, obviously you will get the percentage. This is not null, but empty should not be there, but it can be repeated. Anybody can score 85%. Now let us understand how to define. These are the just general idea about the data that we have here, which could be null, which could be not null, which should be repeated and not repeated. Now let us understand what is a super key now. So what is a super key? It is an attribute. So these table, all these fields, we call it as an attributes, and these are all the values that are inside this table. Okay. So which uniquely identifies one or more attribute, we can call it as a super key. That means unique means no values must be repeated. and every candidate I have given it as a super key, but what is this key which uniquely identify? So which table specify for a super key? Specify so phone number can be specified as a super key because uniquely it is identifying, and there could be null values in this also. Uniquely, if you want to identify, you can specify this super key. It does not allow duplication, but null values can be there. Similarly, class also you can give it as a super key. So duplication, can you give it as a super key? No, because BCA in this is repeated. So can we give super key for this? No, because percentage may get repeated. So can you give this for super key? No, name gets repeated. Can you give this for super key? Yes, you can give this as a super key. Anyhow, this will not allow duplicate value, but it will allow null value. So it depends on the requirement that we use. Okay. So next one is a candidate key. Now what is a super key and the candidate key? We said in the previous things every candidate key is a super key, but not every super key is a candidate key. Now let us see, if you want to uniquely identify two or more things in the table, then we use a candidate key here. So what is the use of this key? Let us see here. So if you want to define uniquely without any unnecessary attributes, if you want to remove, then you can use the candidate key. And a table, in this table we can specify two or more candidate keys. So same phone number I have taken as a candidate key, register number also we have taken as a candidate key. So here, because what are the unnecessary details, it will just remove. And one thing is, it will also represent a data uniquely. Suppose if two main fields if you want to make it. So phone number also I want to make it as a uniqueness. This also I want to make it as a unique value. Then you can define two candidate keys in the table. Similarly, super key also you can define 2 or 3, but depends on the requirement that you are going to use it. Okay. So next we have an alternate key. So suppose you want to define something like alternate to that, it should be like that. Say we feel some two fields to be unique, then we use the alternate key. So now with the key that is selected as a primary key, we call it as an alternate key. So what is a primary key is, in a table there could be only one primary key which is not repeated. For example, register number of the student will not get repeated, and every student will be having the register number. So that we call it as a primary key, and there will be only one primary key in the table. Okay. So that also I will tell. So apart from the primary key, if you feel any of the other field also to act as a primary key, like repeated also it should not allow, and compulsorily it should be not null also, then we can go for the alternate key. So here I have taken Aadhaar as an alternate key because no two persons can have the Aadhaar number. So all these fields I should fill empty. If I leave blank, it will throw me an error. Okay, that we call it as an alternate key. Apart from the primary key, this is, if I declare this as primary key and another key which act as the primary key, then we call it as an alternate key, like alternate to primary key, you can use it. Suppose I have given primary key here. Again I can't define primary key, one more key in this table, this also as a primary, because in a table there should be no two primary key, there should be only one primary key. In such situation, in order to make two columns to work as primary key, one we can define it as primary key and another one we can define as alternate key. Okay, here these fields I have not filled, but you have to fill. If you didn't fill by mentioning it as alternate key, and if you didn't fill the details, then it will throw error saying that it cannot be null. So it will give you what is going to happen. So what mistake we are going to make. So before only you can take some necessary action, otherwise there will be a problem in entering the data. So next is an unique key. So unique and all those candidates, this alternate key, all serve as a mechanism. If you take in terms of uniqueness. Uniquely it identifies any data in the table. So that is a unique key. So unique, but the difference is it ensures that no two rows in the table have the same value. So here this row, if you mention it as, so unique key I am mentioning is a phone number, then somewhere again I have taken the same number in the table, then it ensures that there should be uniqueness. That means now here I have taken the register number also as unique key, then phone number also as a unique key, because uniquely it identifies, and check no two rows must have the same values. So for example, this also I have taken as a unique key here. See, parent phone number. So now here also this, all these three columns I have declared it as a unique key. It will just check whether they have the different values. 101 is different, then phone number this is different, and here same number. So this row and this row values are repeated, so it will not allow the same duplication of values to be entered in any two rows columns. So those things should be avoided. If you want to make any rows or the columns should not get repeated, then you can specify unique. So I don't want this register number, phone numbers, student phone number and parents numbers to be repeated. So that is why I have given these three columns or rows as a unique key. So when a unique key is given and if I try to repeat, it will not allow this. See this number, now here check the second one, this 102 and this phone number and this is unique, it is allowed. Now 103, this and this. So these are unique, so it will allow. Okay. So next is a primary key. As I said, in a table there could be only one primary key. And what are the characteristics is a primary key uniquely identifies a row or columns for any data, and there can be only one primary key in the table. There cannot be two primary key. If you want to declare two primary key, as I said, you can use another key called as an alternate key, so which acts as a primary key only. But in a table there could be only one. That combination you can do it, we will discuss that. And primary key also will not allow null values. Now which field can we give it as a primary key? Now if I give name as a primary key, then it is understood that name should not get repeated, but name can be repeated, right? So I cannot declare this as a primary key. Now for phone number, some people will have phone number and some people will not have the phone number. So this also I cannot give it as a primary key. Then classes will get repeated, percentage also get repeated. The field that does not get repeated is the register number. So this I can declare it as a primary key, which is not empty, that is not null also, plus it should have the unique values. Now if I try to enter 104, which is already there, and if I try to enter the same 104 in this table here, it will not allow. It will say duplicate entry is not allowed because of the primary key constraint. Okay, that is the meaning of the primary key. And we are moving to one more key in the database, that is a foreign key. Now what is this foreign key? The foreign key means we have foreign key means for establishing the relationship between the table, we will use the concept called as a foreign key. And in order to establish this foreign key, at least a minimum of two tables are required. Okay. So now before coming to this foreign key, as I said, for establishing the connection, the table 1 which is we are referring or using should be defined primary key. So without primary key I cannot use the foreign key. So with the table that way, whatever I am using must be there should be a primary key. I have to declare the primary key for this table. So I have declared register number as a primary key in this table. Similarly in this table also I have to declare the primary key. Now both the table have the primary key. So assume that this is a student table and this is a department table. So which department, which students that we are going to use it. Now what is foreign key is the primary key of one table if you use it in this table. So this is a primary key here I am using here. That means what is the meaning? The student bearing the register number 101, name is Asha and this is the phone number. She is belonging to BCA class and she has got 85%. So which department she is belonging? BCA. So what I should write here? I have to write it as B1. So I have written B1. So what is this DID? This is primary key of one table. I am taking this. So DID is a department this, and here primary key I am using it here. So this becomes the foreign key. Okay. So now as I said, this is B1. So I have to write BCA means it is B1 department ID, and BSc it is B2, and the student who was doing MCA is B3. So now for another student, I am just using this BCA instead of writing it as B1. So BCA means it is B1. I have to enter B1. I have tried to enter B4, which is not in this table. Okay, because this is the foreign key here. The data which is not in the table, if I try to enter, it is not allowed. The thing is, if department does not exist means the student cannot join for that department, right? So that is the meaning. So in case if you want to refer to any table that is existing or not. Similarly, the things that are product that are there in stock only, I have to submit, or I have to order. So if there is no stock, then I cannot order. So in such situation, if you want to allot any students with that particular department during allocation, this mistake can happen like before. The department only does not exist, but we cannot allow. So this is about the foreign key. We'll soonly come back with a practical session so that you can understand it. Just it is a theoretical session, and which is very important also. Okay. Yeah, that's all for today. About hope you have understood what are the types of keys, how to use it, and make your database more secure and unique and helpful. Hope this video finds you good and helpful. So if you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much.